Well, they say to win a Stanley Cup, you have to have three things. You got to have talent, luck, and momentum. Well, the 1960-61 Chicago Blackhawks had all three, and you have to bear with me for a second because if you're a Montreal Canadiens fan, this is not the podcast for you. Montreal really choked against Chicago in the semifinals that year, and Chicago did have a good team, but they should have defeated the Blackhawks in the semifinals, but Chicago was ready for the task. Now, they eventually went on to win the Stanley Cup against the Red Wings in the final, which was kind of an unforeseen final as well, because a lot of people thought it was going to be a Montreal-Detroit rematch of a lot of the challenges of the 50s. Now, the 60-61 season was a rebuilding year for the side. Just a few years previous, the future of the franchise was in doubt because the league was making decisions to allow Chicago to rebuild by giving some of these teams giving the Blackhawks enough talent to solidify their lineup so that fans would show up and you could have some revenue to work with. Now, this was their 35th season in the NHL. Now, they started the campaign extremely strong with only one loss in their first 9 games. However, the club, which was still building at the time, because again, Bobby Hull wasn't really the full Bobby Hull that year. They went 5-13-6 in their next 24 games. So they were well under 500 at the time. And they were fighting Detroit and the Rangers for a playoff spot. Now, Chicago would eventually snap out of their slump, and he went on a 7-game win streak, actually at the halfway mark of the season. Now, the Hawks continued to play solid hockey for the remainder of the year, as he went 11-10-9 their last 30 games, to finish the season with what was then a club record 29 victories and 75 points. Now, they finished in third place for the third consecutive season, and in the first time since 1946, they finished the campaign with a record over 500. Now, their big point getter that year was the very underrated Bill Hay, who led the team with 48 assists and also added 11 goals, while Bobby Hull had 31 counters. Now, Mikita, who was starting to build at the playmaker, had 53 points, and Murray Balfour had 21 goals and 48 points. Now, on defense, the great Pierre Pilote led the way, as he had 35 points while posting a team-high 165 minutes and penalties. Now in goal, Glenn Hall, the great Glenn Hall, played all 70 games, winning 29, while posting a 2.51 goals against average and 6 shutouts. Now remember what we're talking about with Glenn Hall here. Now, the regular season record against the other teams in the league were quite strong. What really stands out, though, they had almost a 500 winning record against everybody but Toronto, and you weren't probably going to face Toronto in the playoffs. So, as we entered the postseason, they drew Montreal in the first round. Now, the Canadiens had once again finished at the top of the NHL, earning 97 points, and of course had won 5 straight Stanley Cups, and easily could have won 6 straight. Now, they did take the season series opener at the Forum, defeating Chicago 6-2. However, Chicago rebounded with a 4-3 win in Game 2. The series then moved to the tough Chicago Stadium for the next 2 contacts, and had one of their biggest wins in franchise history in Game 3, when he won 2-1 in overtime in the trio contest. Now, the Canadiens did rebound in Game 4 to tie the series up again at 2 games apiece with a 5-2 victory. Now, this is where Glenn Hall came in handy. The Blackhawks entered Game 5 as underdogs, but they really shut Montreal down, winning 3-0 to return to Chicago with a choice to secure the series. Now, the upset was completed in Game 6 when Hall got the shutout in a 3-0 victory, which gave them a trip to the finals for the first time in 17 years. Now, like I said, they faced Detroit in the finals. Now, the Red Wings had finished the season behind Chicago in the regular season standings with 66 points, but they had defeated the Maple Leafs in the semifinals, earned a berth in the Frozen 2. Now, the Hawks took the series opener on home ice as Bobby Hull scored twice for a 3-2 win. Now, the series moved to Detroit Olympia for the second game, and the Red Wings responded with a 3-1 win to even the series up. The third game was back in Chicago, and it was the Hawks that took a 2-1 series lead by nipping the Red Wings 3-1. Now, with the fourth game back in Detroit, the Red Wings evened the series up again, defeating the Hawks 2-1. Now, Chicago easily won the fifth game in Chicago 6-3 to take the one-game series lead, and in the sixth game in Detroit, the Blackhawks won the set as they handily defeated the Red Wings 5-1 to win their third Stanley Cup, and the first since 1938. And essentially, with the help of Litzenberg as captain and the rest of the key players, saved the franchise. Now, Pilote led all players in playoff scoring with 15 points, while Bobby Hull was just behind with 14 points. Mikita had 6 goals and 5 assists for 11 points. Mary Balfour added 10 points, including 5 goals. And Kenny Warren had 8 points, including in 12 games. Now, there was no Connie Smythe at the time for playoff MVP, but I think Glenn Hall would have won it. He had an 8-4 record with only 26 goals against, with a 2.02 average. Now, the squad, again, just a quick recap of the roster. Balfour, Hicks, Sloan, Murphy, Hay, Litzenberger, McDonald, Nestorenko, Hull, Warren, Mackey, Balfour, and Mikita. On defense, Arbor, Pilote, Vasco, Evans, Fleming, Hillman, and Saint Laurent. Again, Hall and net, GM Tommy Ivan, and the great Rudy Pilas as head coach. Again, one of the most interesting runs to the Stanley Cup, because a team that was within, not say days, but weeks of folding, to come back and win the Stanley Cup with some new players, some retreads, and the great Glenn Hall, who changed goalie history when he's played that season for Chicago. Overall, a great win for the Windy City, and 60 years later, we're still talking about it as one of the best cup runs in modern American NHL history. Have a good day. Bye.